Hello, everyone. You're watching me, Nikki, you also known as Facelesstrader, for our global market update. If this is your first time, let me welcome you and ask you to subscribe to our channel for daily global market updates, where we share you news and charts and anything to help you in your trading and investing. So, last week, the market is, of course, obsessed with the Portnoy's top. They even wrote several articles. Bloomberg wrote several articles about Dave Portnoy, also known as Davy Day Trader Global, uh, given the U.S. markets. They call it like a Portnoy top, given that these are risk-on traders are betting heavily on speculative bets such as airlines and so forth. As you could see, Nasdaq fell somewhere from about 10,100, and right now it is trading at 9.5. If you look at the charts, we're seeing that there could be support here at about 9.1. So since Thursday, we are seeing a corrective move on your markets. This is Thursday, Friday, and now it's Monday. So this has been one of the largest sell-offs that we are seeing after, of course, a momentum of a strong rally from about 6.6 to 10,000. I will check on your a lot of sectors for you to check. Let me share to you a few things though. We have been a bit bullish here on GAN Limited. So GAN Limited is a new IPO in the market, also in the sports betting world. We're seeing some supports last Friday, even as the Nasdaq was selling off, the US is selling off. We're seeing that this has been dropping ever since topping at 26, and this drop to about 17 is a likely support. So let's see if that holds, or will it go further down here at about 14, which is your current. So you have two supports, either at 17 or 14. Of course, a lot of your airlines are called black swan bets. So we are seeing, of course, Boeing Company. For those who aren't aware, Boeing Company is one of the top reopening bets of Michael Burry, the guy who was on The Big Short. So it's not just the retail traders that are actually bullish on the airlines. There are some hedge funds that are actually buying. Boeing Company gets supported here at about 120. Yes, resistance, 100% move, too fast, too soon. So there is this drop. We are seeing that if the market will fall tonight, there could be some supports here at about 160 or 150. You might want to check out how it reacts here at about 150, or how it moves with a resistance here at about 214. So these are large ranges. So you have to have like leeway for drops about 5 to 10%. As you could see, volatility is really expanding right now. What do we mean with volatility? Volatility could go from the upside or the downside. As you could see here in UVXY, start of the Robinhood insanity here, where June 5, June 6, you're getting a lot of portfolio snapshots of 100 to 200%. They're now calling that day as about a Portnoy top, when a lot of dumb money, or well, it's not really dumb money, it's just really a lot of retail or newbie money that's really highly speculative entering the market. It's a place to time and to be a bit cautious. We're seeing that UVXY, your volatility indicator, went from about 28 to 51 in a few days. That's about 4, 5, 6 days. Too strong on the fear indicator, so a lot of people have also been starting to take take profit. So we're seeing that if fear will continue to go higher, the fear scale could go fear. This is a fear gauge. So generally, when it's rising, the market would fall, and the bears will rejoice. So right now, there is a path that you've got this very bullish move last Thursday, which is a bearish move for the market. Given that we haven't really broken below this 35 area for your UVXY, this means that the path in the short term, as in like maybe 24 to 48 to 72 hours, still belongs to the bears. And the bulls have to really provide support such that they have to sell UVXY somewhere at 60 or 70 or even at 50 to show that the bulls are still on track. Now, let's take a look how your leaders are moving in the market. Some of your leaders that we are taking a look at, given that the Nasdaq is very strong, is of course Facebook. So Facebook actually broke your 5-year high as the market continues to be bullish on their other businesses. So Facebook, of course, has launched with Shopify. They've also gone entering to India with Geo through Reliance Industries. They've also got their work conferencing apps. As you could see in the last 5 years, Facebook has been sleeping somewhere from about 123 to about 218. Right now, I think that you have to check whether Facebook gets bought here at about 218 or somewhere here at the lower level of about either 188 or 200. So we have yet to see, but the bulls are still in control for your Facebook, your Amazons. So the leaders of your fangmans are not yet really showing any sell-off patterns. The sell-off patterns are only apparent in your weakest links. However, in your weakest links, take note that these selling patterns are just more of a profit-taking move rather than a complete bearish move. So, for instance, Delta Airlines showed a move from about 19 to 37. Naturally, you'll get resistance here at about 37. We'll have to check whether Delta Airlines will get supported here at about 24 or 20 to say that to really see how the movements of these weak links in the market are. So you've got the market spooked with about 2 million coronavirus cases. A lot of people saying that we are toppish. Are the valuations too high? Where I think personally that there are some bets that you could take a look at. One of the bets that people have basically felt to sell down of course, is Disney and Starbucks. We're checking whether Disney gets supported here at about 105. So within April to May, you've got some hedge funds actually betting that these might take a while to recover, but July 31, you've got your NBA. You want to check whether Walt Disney can restart their operations, theme parks, and have a recovery, given that Shanghai Disneyland is open, some Orlando, Florida is also open, the theme parks are open. You got to check whether 105 to 95 will get support. Similarly, Starbucks, we're seeing more levels of support here at about, as you could see, Starbucks gets supported here at about $70, 72 to be exact. So with your downside only here at about 65, some people who are bullish in the entire company might think that although 85 is a stop move, it is not really the entire resistance. There's really just a recovery play, and it's too soon to say that the market is really gonna erase all those gains. So for now, I'd say that the bulls have support here at about 72 and another support here at about 65. It's really more on laddering into positions at this moment. I personally am taking a look at some names that people felt is a non-essential. So Hasbro, the owner of your Monopoly, Nerf, a lot of kiddie stuff. It gives you a 3% yield. Trying to see if there will be support here at about 69 areas or 65. So I'm taking a look as I see that this is more like a recovery play as well. Now, if you're not here for recovery, you might want to check on some high quality names. Visa, of course, is a high quality name. They process about 3.8 billion credit cards. Let me read to you the exact thing. Oh. Wait up. So Visa is 3.4 billion credit cards. So usually in a frothy market, you have to enter more quality names. So Visa operates the largest payment processing network in the world. The company acts a middleman between consumers, businesses, banks, and governments in more than 200 countries. Last quarter, the company processed about 38 billion total payments, earning a small transaction fee for each one. These small fees add up quickly to billions in revenue. The vast network, the huge scope makes it stay protected from competition. These factors put Visa Visa in an enviable financial position. As of end 2019, the Visa's cash balance was 14.4 billion. It has more than 3.6 billion dollars in free cash flow in one quarter of 2019. It could weather your COVID storm and potentially grow stronger by making acquisitions at attractive prices. So if the market, in a scenario that the market falls about 5% or so in the next couple of weeks, you want to check whether you can enter Visa here at about 175. So this is a company that you might want to check out on Visa, Facebook at about 220, and another leeway to enter here again at about $200. Now, there are a lot of restaurants that, of course, fell down. Among the restaurant picks, we did say in our Rooting for Humanity picks that we would be a willing buyer of Starbucks. The other hedge funds buying restaurants, of course, Bill Ackman has Starbucks. He bought more once it dropped. He also owns QSR, the owner of Burger King, Tim Hortons, and Popeye's Kitchen. If QSR falls somewhere here at about 50 or 45, so you've got supports here at about 45 or 50, a stronger recovery for QSR, you might want to check it out. Your downside versus your upside could be short term. We could be underestimating the damage, but longer term, these companies can recover well. What other companies am I looking at? So personally, everyone is looking here at some cloud names. Your DocuSign, your Fastly, your Datadog, your Zoom. The market, of course, has found their new fangmans in these names. These IPOs have generally been very strong. Fastly went from about $10 to $50 in 3 months. The bulls are in control for Fastly, the edge computing network. I'd say that the drops here would be muted. Pullbacks here at about 41 will be generating a lot of interest. So you might want to check these out unless the market shuns all of these cloud names. But as for now, we don't see that happening soon. Datadog is quite expensive. All of your SaaS names are expensive, but these are the top buys of every momentum trader out there, and even like your tech investors who want something safe in this COVID environment, you want to check out Datadog. Drops are very muted. If it can even drop 20-30%, you want to get into these names. These are in my top buy list: Fastly, Datadog. I'm still waiting for Zoom to fall, but it looks like it's not gonna be a lot of drops. The drops are muted here at about 185 to 190. Recent drop of about 200 has been met with strong buying action. Still strong. These trends are not really seen to falter in this COVID time. Of course, Netflix, you're getting a lot of support bias here at about 400 to 420. So uptrend channel for Netflix is intact. In general, your leaders are still shining. It's very difficult to say that the bearish sentiment is overflowing to your tech names. We aren't seeing that. In fact, the XLK is beating your XLF by a mile. So we are seeing that XLK, your technology name, since the beginning of the last 20 years, has grown 700%, as you could see from this chart. Even during the 2008 to 2009 financial crisis, had you stayed strong with your technology names and shunned the financials, you'd still have been up, meaning you're going long your technology and you're shorting financials. That would be 300% up, even during the worst crisis of 2008. Now, take a look for COVID time. We're seeing the same pattern as well. COVID time, let's take a look in your 2020. We are seeing so far that XLK is outperforming your XLF by 50%, from 3 to about 450. So it's really not a question on I would say that the bulls are ahead for NASDAQ, and any drops would be a welcome buying opportunity to get some of these Facebooks of the world. So 9-1 could still proceed to about 10, 6, 11,000 in the next few years. It could be years or it could even be just a few months. I'd say that the bears who are screaming and shouting for a pullback would likely just get a muted pullback here at about 9.1. So with 9.4 to 9.1, you're just estimating a 5% drop. That would mean that your Amazons of the world, it would be very unlikely, in my view, to get it back here at about 2,000 or 2.2. You're seeing that the pullbacks here are muted at about 2.4 in the short term. Still really a very strong move. It's very hard to negate those long-term uptrends for your Facebooks, your Amazons, your Netflix. Very difficult to change the tide. Um, yeah, so I just wanted to share that all of the bearishness of the market is warranted, but the charts aren't agreeing with those fundamental bearishness. We have yet to see a really strong move to the downside, and all the downsides would likely be bought, especially if we're talking about technology names. So DocuSign, of course, and Zoom Video are very strong. Drops would be bought here. You've got a lot of IPOs that really did well on the earnings front. I'm just gonna show to you. So Bill is I think it helps subscription economy. I haven't studied this well enough, but I could say that the charts are very strong. Similarly, while everyone is saying that department stores are already a bleak picture, we argue that the Czech billionaire Daniel Krasinski bought somewhere here at about 4.80 to $6, took profit once it rose at 10, but we think that these drops here are actually buyable. So your risk reward ratio for Macy's is a good it's a good risk. Buying at about 6 to 7 gives you an upside of about 8, 9, 10. So these are good risk reward, especially that this was insider buying by some inside billionaires. So if Daniel Krasinski, of course, gets to buy it back, it could be an entry point again. Um, what other news do I want to share? Yeah, one news I want to share is the GameStop. So GameStop has a 99% short ratio, short interest. They also have activist investors such as Michael Burry. Burry has an 18% stake in GameStop. He purchased, I think, somewhere at about $3. So far, I'm seeing that there is this range. There's a range play for your GameStop. You've got about supports here at about 412 to 470. GameStop announced in their first quarter a 519% increase in their e-commerce sales. You might want to check it out whether the short squeeze here could be big, despite the fact that that only hardware is growing already. Only hardware is growing in their earnings front, given that every sale of games is now digital. So you have, of course, PS Now, EA Access, you've got Steam, you've got all of these platforms where you can buy games. You don't need to go to a brick and mortar store. However, GameStop has been doing an e-commerce digital transformation. So we'll see if GameStop can survive bankruptcy. As of now, we've got a lot of activist investors making a black swan bet that GameStop won't go to zero. It's got about when I took a look, they have about $500 million in cash or $400 million in cash, while the market cap now is about $200 million. Although the question is, how will they handle all their debt obligations? I think their debt is about $600 million. So yeah, so those are the questions looming for GameStop. Yeah, so that's it for now. You have yet to see whether a lot of screaming loud bears, but I can't say that it's really gonna fall. I think it's a wait and see process. Those who want to really take profits, they have all the time to take profits, but it's very hard to call the tops for your strong names. So your C limited is at 93. Sure, it's very extended, but I'm not sure if you could really fall down to about 70. I'm not sure if your 10 cents of the world, is it gonna fall down? Is Sony gonna fall down? Is Microsoft gonna fall down? The drops are muted at about 3% versus the strong rallies, which are 30 to 40, 50%. So the bulls will probably stay and hold on to their XL case, their technology names. They won't sell those names anytime soon. Okay, thank you guys. That's it. See you again tomorrow. Done.